Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take a look at 0-1. So what you have is every single lesson that you guys are going to get has a learning objective. And so in this case, to write and analyze compound statements using logic, to analyze conjectures by inductive reasoning, and disprove conjectures by using counterexamples. So there's a bunch of terminology here, what a statement is, what a truth value is, conditional statement, if then, hypothesis, conclusion, converse, and biconditional. I'm going to use all of these in this lesson, but I'm not going to, you guys can read the definitions. I don't think I need to read them to you. Okay, so I want to identify the hypothesis and the conclusion of each conditional statement. So the hypothesis is that a figure is a rectangle. The conclusion is that it has four sides. Okay. So now, write the converse of the conditional statement. So the converse, what it does is it switches the if and the and the then. Okay. So then the converse is if x equals 5, then 4x plus 8 is equal to 28. Okay. The next one, write the conditional and the converse. Determine the truth values for the conditional and the converse. If it's false, find a counterexample. So the conditional is if it is raining. Oh my gosh, I cannot write right now. I just got done teaching high fitness with Mrs. Bird, and I can't write. Okay. If it is raining, then the game will be canceled. The converse is if the game is canceled, I think there's two L's, then it is raining. Okay. And it's actually, this is false, so I cannot write it as a biconditional. A biconditional is a if and only if statement. So if your conditional and converse are both true, then you can write it as this if and only if this. Okay. In this case, it's false because the game can be canceled for another reason. Okay. Write the statement below as a conditional statement. If 3x minus 7 is equal to 14, then 3x is equal to 21. Okay, so the next one, write the two statements. Oh man, there's a typo. That form each biconditional. So it is if this, then that. Okay. And then it is if you live in, in the capital of the United States, then you live in Washington, D.C. I do not want you guys to do it like this, so I would want you guys to write this out. If you live in Washington, do not do my bad habits. Then you live in the capital of the United States. Okay. Inductive reasoning, so conjecture, counterexample, those are just, again, vocabulary. I'm not going to actually test you on vocabulary. I'm just going to use the vocabulary. So you just have to know or have a basic understanding of what the actual definition is. I do not want you guys to recite definitions for me. Okay. So write a conjecture about this and then use your conjecture to find the next term in the sequence. Well, it looks like I'm adding 45 minutes to every single time. So I'm adding 45 minutes. And then my next term would be 11:30 a.m. Okay. Determine if the conditional is true or false. If it's false, find a counterexample. If you live in a country that borders the United States and you live in Canada, that is false because you could live in Mexico. Okay. And then we have the check for understandings, and those we are doing in class. Okay. And so we did go over these in class, so you should see these in your Pear Deck that I released to you. And that's it for this lesson.